Morning. It's another lovely day. I've just finished trimming, well, not finished, but cleared most of it so I can see what's what. There's an awful lot of sticks and branches in. I'm just raking up at the moment just to see if I need to do any more trimming. There's one or two patches where I probably will have to, but because there's so many sticks in it, it's just breaking the grass or breaking the string all the time. There's one big one there what runs all the way into that bush, so I couldn't do anything there. There's little bits of bushes all over, and there's, like you see, there's big sticks all over the place, and I just couldn't get into some of it to clear it off properly. So I'm just raking it over now, just bringing some of that edge into piles away from the wall, and then I'll start bringing some of these sticks in. I might even rake a bit of the grass up, I don't know. It'd be nice, and then it'd be nice to have a compost heap somewhere, but at the moment it's just a matter of getting the sticks and things out of the way so I can just re-strim these bits around the tree. Bits in that corner's just so deep, there's wire in there and all sorts, so I need to sort that out. And all these sticks, because they just, as I said, they just break the strings. There's some grapevines still. Debbie's chopped some of them from the other side, but there's some bits sticking out this side, so we'll have a trim of them as well. Yeah, it's beginning to see, you know, you're beginning to see sort of, it's a nice little side garden, or it could be. Don't know what we intend doing with it at the moment. We've got some nice lilac up there. There's a rose bush there which is way overgrown. I'm going to chop some of that back shortly, or sometime today probably, when I get some of this done. But the main thing is get rid of some of these branches and what have you, so we can see what's what and just make it look tidy, you know. So that's what I'm on with now. I'll do a bit more, and hopefully it'll be tidier. So I've been at it most of the morning. We pruned the rose bush. I know it's well past prune, but you know, that's how I do prune. Cut some of the, I don't know whether it was lavender or rosemary back. I think it's rosemary. Yeah, pretty sure it's rosemary. Just had a quick clear up around the edges, but I've pulled a lot more into the middle at the moment. As I say, we've been doing this most of the morning, so now we've decided to have a break. It's getting quite warm now, so that'll do us for today. Well, evening time. A couple of bits what we did find is that, I think it's off a hard plough or something like that. And then there's been some just bits of tin and things kicking about, so as I said, I was going to move some of them. But yeah, it's clearing up quite nicely. Need to get that pile of muck out of the way, and then we can see where we're going again. Some of the grass is already standing back up where I've trimmed, and I couldn't see which bits I'd done and which bits I hadn't. But yeah, we'll go back over that later. So yesterday, while I was doing the top, we had a young lad from the village. Nice lad, spoke a little bit of English, not too much. He come and started to cut the bottom field. We've been trying to get somebody to come and do it for a while. And I think he's made quite a good job. He hasn't got it all done. I didn't expect him to. He only had a strimmer, but he's uncovered all this wall here for this barn. Looks a hell of a lot better. Still got this sort of asbestos-y roof here and all this roof over here to sort because of some of its tin. I don't know whether it is actually asbestos, we'll have to look into that. Some of the roof on the barn's a bit shabby, as you can see. But yeah, ain't that the wall of that building gorgeous? So yeah. And then, as I say, he's done about half of it. He's done all the top sort of terrace. and about half of what needs doing at the bottom. We have I call it 3 bits. There's the top terrace, there's all this down to the broom, and then there's the bit after the broom into the trees. And I think he's made an amazing job of that so far. I've got another look into the terrace wall now. I actually get at a few bits. I was going to do it myself, but it's a time thing, you know. You only do so much when you're here for a short time. Hopefully next time we come, we'll be here all the time. But yeah, he and half made a good job. You can see all what we're looking at. I've still yet to find the actual route of the power cable. I know where the ball hole is, but I haven't actually found the cable and the pipe. I was hoping now we'd cut it down we might see it a bit better. In fact I can now, I've just seen it. So we've got the pipe there, runs right along the hedge line. I presume the cable will run with it, which we'll have to be careful and have a look at that. But yeah, don't need to open it up a lot when it's all cut. So yeah, I think he's made an amazing job of that. The only time we've ever seen it like this was on the pictures before we bought it, because when we bought it, it started to overgrow. Yeah, lovely. And I got the farmer yesterday to show us the actual end line of the land. He knew exactly where it was straight away. I thought he would, but yeah, he just pointed it out. There's like a little dike which we were talking about on one of the earlier videos. We didn't know whether that was part of it. He walked along it, now for one side, Sim for the other, and that's it, all the way along, and lined it up with the hedgerow this side, the right hand side as you look down. So yeah, gives a great idea of where it all is. Hopefully you can just see, I don't know whether you can hear this with the wind. Hopefully you can just see just how much clearer it looks. I think he's made a brilliant job myself. Hopefully he'll come back on Saturday, as he says, and just do the bottom half.
So today we're on our way to Fortella to open a bank account, and we think it might make things a lot easier for us while we're here in Portugal. We can just transfer money from our UK account to our Portuguese account. Our attorney set up a NIF number for us, which we had to have to buy the house. So with that we should be able to open an account, as I say. So we'll catch you a bit later on and let you know how we went on.
Afternoon, it's a little bit cloudy today. We've just come back from Fundão actually, trying to sort the banking out. I'll tell you a little bit about that a little later, but at the moment we're just sorting a little bit more of the garden out. So as I said yesterday, we had a lad come and strimmer most of this, but it's left around the edges where there was loads of scrap and things like that, so we're just starting to move that. There's old logs, we're cutting some of these vines back, there's bits of pole stuck out, there's bits of metal down there, and obviously all this tangle weed stuff. I don't really know what they call it, it's blooming horrible, I do know that. So we're just having a go at clearing that. Well, actually Debbie's doing this and I'm doing the side garden still. I've still got a bit up there to do, but there's bits of hard metal and all sorts of things, so she's just going round and doing bits. There was what looked like a nice trough there, but it's broken. Whether we can put it against a wall and make a bit of a thing out of it, I don't know. There's plastic pots and bits and bobs all over the place. Some nice bits of sort of granite slatey stuff, slate I suppose it is. A concrete post, looks like it's broken off there at some point. Buckets and bits of tin, like I say. Then at this side there's more metal, bits of tin, vines what we want cutting back and all that. I did some of that last year, but it wants taking right out. There's a pile of mud where we've been emptying buckets. We're going to have to scatter that about a bit, you know, break it up. It'll soon wash into the land, but just wants tidying up. And then going further along the wall, we've got all sorts of canes, bits and bobs. Some of it will come in handy, obviously. Somewhere around here was a pomegranate. I can't remember whether it's that one or whether it's this one. I think it's that one actually. But if this is the pomegranate, then it's sort of spread quite a way, so we'll be having a look at that. If it's pomegranate, we'll leave as much as possible. But there's grapevines that are sticking out all over behind it. This schist well, what you can see at the bottom, runs all the way to the edge of the land that way. I've just seen 2 tyres as well, so yeah, there's just all sorts of rubbish being dumped on this ground. We will get it right, we'll get there. Moves this old wheel. I don't know whether it's been a cart wheel, part of a tractor, you know, extension on tractor wheels, or what. Yeah, we'll have to have a look into that and see if we can do anything with that. Shame to throw it away, make a nice feature somewhere. So it's 7 o'clock, just going in, just stopping now for tea. So I've done a bit more cleaning up in there today. Also I've done quite a lot of digging out along here. I know it don't look much, and there's still quite a lot of weeds and stuff and rough ground, but it was all sort of like that, and all grasses like that, so it's been hard going really. It's quite stony, lots of twigs and stuff in it, but you're beginning to see a bit of difference now, so, or I'm beginning to see a bit of difference now, which is what's important really, you know, it's tidying it up. Tomorrow I'm going to spend a bit of time doing the dike outside, because twice when it's rained really hard, the farmer and the other next door neighbour has cleared it just after it's been raining, and to be honest I'd totally forgotten, which isn't good. It's like mostly open on our side, so I just want to try and clean that out a little bit, just so, you know, we don't get any problem if it does rain hard again. Debbie's done quite a bit down at the other end. Just have a quick walk down there and I'll show you. So Debbie's done a bit more along this wall. A couple of vines she's put off, one there, and she's put that one right back at this stump here. Still lots of bit of metal and stuff like that. We haven't broken them up yet, like I said I was going to, but we have been quite busy since we come back. We've cut some of this vine back quite hard, as you can see. We've still got a bit of clearing out under there to do, but there's a load of wire in there, so we can't quite get into it properly. So I'm going to have to snip that out tomorrow. Debbie's been doing that while I've been doing some of the top, and we've got a bit in the corner to finish there. But yeah, it's coming along. I mean, you know, main of it's tidying. It's a case of you've got to get rid of the stuff before you can actually get in to start doing what you want to do. Until you get the muck out of the way, it's very difficult to go, yeah, well, I'm going to put a raised bed here or a raised bed there, or this is where we're going to have these plants, or this, or, you know, this tree, whatever. So we need to get it cleared a bit, which is what we're doing. So this afternoon I'm clearing some of this. Got a sign farm, trying to clear some of the rubbish. Started already. I've got a fair pile down here already, but just thought I'd just do a little bit and show you what we're doing. As you can see, there's pile of logs down here where I've put maps around, tyres, bits of wire, you know, all this sort of thing. What's breaking out really, I don't really want to be handling it too much. That looks like it's been an odd sort of quad type tyre, big trailers like that. pruning's a little bit extreme, the size of some of it, but that's what it needs. Trying to pull it out, you know, just break some of it. Just leave that a second while I go and get the rake. So, as I say, there's quite a few bits kicking about, you know, ball here, bits of tile, bits of what looked like a brush down there somewhere, bits of pipe. I think the brush was a bit further on. More pipe, tiles, rotten wood, bottles, you know, metal there, tiles here, more bottles buried. I've taken all this plastic and rubber and umbrella handles and bits like that. It's plastic tubing, metal. All needs digging out. There's more bottles hidden there as well, I've just noticed. But we'll get there. It's all, you know, as much as we can at a time. And as you can hear, I'm having bother breathing again today. So it'll be slow going little bits, but we will get there. So while I'm doing the back half, while I have my breather, Debbie's going to start doing this dike. I said about it the other day that when it rains, the farmers at both sides, or I don't know whether one's a farmer and one's just comes and does a little bit of work. They've both cleared it, which isn't fair because most of it's along our property and backs up there. So some of these weeds actually flower quite nicely, as you can see. We do have mains water down here, but we don't use it. We've got a borehole. It now shows you maybe sometimes it's better to have mains because when the electric went off, we've got no water. But we're going to get that put back on next time we come. We went to see about whether we owed anybody anything for it yesterday, and they said not, it'd all been sorted. In fact, they couldn't even find the details of it on their records, and they tried 2 or 3 different electric companies. So as they say, really it's down to the people who we bought it off to pay till it got cut off, or till it got changed names. We certainly haven't used anything much, so that's been sorted, I believe. But our dike runs both ways across our property, so and there's bits what fall in, you know, with the rains and what have you. They're only soft dikes, so that's where I was doing some of the top garden yesterday. I know it's not clear, but we are getting there. I've stopped doing that because we've got some pomegranates at the other side, and they're getting strangled by vines. Last year when we come, we only had 1 or 2 pomegranates on it, but we had to leave before we could get them, pick them, because they were not quite ready. So I'm leaving this for a bit. I've got most of it down, but it's all the twigs and branches and stuff in there. Let's see what I can get in with. But as you see, this dike runs sort of all the way down. What I would like to do at some point is put like a concrete tube in, maybe half pipe, and run it down so that it's easier to clear out for everybody if anybody else ends up doing it. It has had new sewers and what have you put in around the back of the building, which we didn't know about. But yeah, all this down as far as that pipe there appears to be ours. So, you know, we need to maintain it, not somebody else. So we'll just keep up with that and see what we can do. Our hole in the roof seems to have got a bit bigger, but we're going to look into that. That's only in a barn, so we're not too worried. The rest of it's, you know, it's just, as I say, a lot of work. But we'll just keep on with it. We'll keep on doing bits and bobs and we'll get there eventually. Yeah. It's just a shame we can't start on the actual building at the moment. We're not here long enough to do anything major. So it's really tidying, getting places to put things when we do start. As you see, Debbie's already well into it, so I'm going to give her half an hour or so to do that while I have my breather, and then I'll start on my bit again and she can have a breather. So as you see, Debbie's doing quite a good job here. She's cleared a good half of this thing out, so yeah, just need to pull a few of them stones out when we're finished and tidy it up a bit and just make sure that it's got a good route for water. So we're just starting to clear up, and this is some of the things what we've got. A couple of tyres, as I told you earlier, bits of tin, plastic piping, shim it ain't any good. There's some tiles under there and an oil filter, but I ain't quite got to that yet. Stones. We've cut quite a lot down though. We've cleared quite a lot away. We've got some wood for fires. Got this old, like, I presume it was a bottle of some sort. And then more wood. But we're beginning to look a little tidier now. I know it's still raggy. But you can see where the schist wall ends. That piece at the end there is coming down as soon as possible. I want to take that off the top of the schist wall, and I want to take that shed off. Those plants in front, bushes in front, are pomegranates, which we want to keep. I've taken a lot of the runners of the plums off, which were down here, but we've kept the main plum, and there's some at the other side of the wall in the wood pile. To be fair, I'm probably going to take one of them out when we, maybe two of them out when we pull the walls down. I'll try and leave one, but one of the reasons for taking the wall down is obviously the view what we're going to get, so I don't want the trees in the fruit bushes in the way as well. We are going to possibly put some fruit bushes further down that end of the land at some point, and we may even put some on that first bit where it's cut. We'll have to have a look and see what we can do there. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with what we've been doing. It's starting to look tidier. We're just clearing up now because we've been at it nearly all day. So this is the oldest olive on our land. Absolutely beautiful. Step back so you can see a little more. It's an absolutely beautiful tree. Just let you have a look, and I'll just go in a little bit so you can see some of the branches and things.